Welcome to the Kai and K Show. Here's where we speak up on it. We are on all platforms: Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, X, and the new one is Rumble. And we got an interesting topic here today. We're going to talk about what happened over the past weekend. This past weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, which was the NFL draft, as you can see from the moniker on the screen. And I'll be back after this short intermission.
In order to have anything in this world, you must speak up on it. In order to have anything in this world, you must speak up on it.
Oh, that you're bumping in Versace, she don't want it. She like it hot just like a coffee in the morning. Said if you want it, then you gotta speak up on it. Said if you want it, then you better speak up on it. 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 Said if you want it, then you better speak up on it.
All right, I'm back. Look, man, we had an interesting week, and I want to talk a little bit about what happened in the draft. We had Shedeur Sanders was a projected first round, first top 10, no less than top 10. Some say top 20, right? Projected first round pick selected in the fifth round. In the fifth round. Wow. Anyways, why did that happen? Was it about talent or was it about something else? Let's make it make sense. Uh, in general, you when teams draft players, they draft for needs, right? And if you need a quarterback, which is one of the most prestigious positions on the team, you generally take that guy when first available, especially if he's really, really good. And in my opinion, Shedeur is really, really good. Now, some of the media pundits will lead you to expect that NFL execs had him as second round talent. Second round talent. While many others had him uh, first round talent. Some top 20 at best, top 22 at the worst, right? And I think I'm a pretty good judge of talent. I played and coached this game for over 30 years, and I think I'm pretty good at judging what it looked like when it's special. And the kid is special. It ain't no question. Now he might not have all his father's attributes as far as the speed and being able to be as athletic as he is, but he's smart and he's keen and he's sharp and he's accurate and he works hard and he does all the right things on and off the field. Ain't no question in my mind about that. Because the moniker at CU is to be tough, strong, fast, disciplined with character. And those are the attributes that Shedeur had. They would like you to believe, some say, he went to the interview with certain teams and was cocky and arrogant. And he rubbed people the wrong way with how he moved, how he acted. And I don't believe that because they wouldn't put their name on it. And when you don't put your name on it, it's hard for me to believe. It's just something that you possibly just made up because you didn't want to, for whatever reason, pay this man what he's worth. Once again, is it about talent or is it about something else? I want you to make it make sense. This guy, from the first round to the fifth round, was on sale. It was a deal. So when you draft, like I said, you're going to draft for your need, not a want, but a need. But by happen chance, if there's a guy who potentially is first round or second round talent, so they say, and he's sitting there in the third, fourth, and some of the fifth round, the hell with what I need. I'm going to draft him because I can always leverage him for what I need and then some. Whether it's another player or picks in future drafts or whatever, because I'm getting him on the deal. He's on sale. Especially when I blew a deal with a contract with a quarterback that's on my roster, and I overpaid him $250 million or more, and he has not produced because he has off the field problems and on the field problems. He hasn't produced in either category. He got so many off the field issues. It's hard to keep his ass on the field, and he's hurt right now, and he's probably not playing this year because he had a serious injury. Be that as it may, the particular team who drafted Shedeur was the Cleveland Browns, and they selected him in the fifth round, the sixth pick in the fifth round. They had just in the third round on the second day, which is Friday, selected a quarterback in the third round. They selected a quarterback. So, you wouldn't think that they'd even want to deal with Shedeur. But like I said, he's on sale. And what they did is they moved up, took a bargained a pick from Seattle to get him because he was on sale. So now they have an essence of 5 quarterbacks on their roster. Can't hold but 3. But he's leveraged. Granted. I'm going to let you listen to a clip of a reporter talking to the GM, Mr. Andrew Berry for the Cleveland Browns. See, generally in the war room, when they pick players, and some of you may have seen it if you watched the draft, and some of you haven't, but I'm explaining to those who haven't watched it before. When they select a player, they be up there high-fiving, congratulating, shaking hands, doing all kinds of things, celebrating their pick because we got our guy. Or we got a guy and we saved a bunch of money, $30 to $50 million on this guy. We first round talent, and we got him in the fifth round. These executives' faces were so stoic, it looked like somebody made them picky. Like they took the band up off of him. Like everybody was told not to pick him. And then in the fifth round, because the draft was becoming such a mockery, because every time someone got picked, you couldn't even enjoy and celebrate with the kids that were getting picked with the other teams, whether they were for needs or not, because all the time they keep talking about what the hell is going on and why they're not taking Shedeur Sanders off the board. He's the best talent on the board. At some point, you don't draft for needs anymore when you got the best talent on the board still. You take him anyway. Because you could always use him for leverage to get what you want later on. Or need later on. Right? So, listen to this. Here's a clip. And check this one out.
The weekend to select 2 quarterbacks, but as we talk about, we do believe in best player available. We do believe in positional value, and we didn't necessarily expect him to be available in the in the fifth round, and so we love adding competition to every position room and adding him to compete with the guys that are already in there. We felt like that was the appropriate thing to do.
When we saw your guys' reaction in the war room, it just didn't look necessarily exuberant. So I don't know what we were seeing, but maybe you can explain that, and then also how did this happen?
Yeah. I think we're probably just tired from the weekend.
Those clips, it's not timed up to exactly the right
when
time.
We're actually
so I wouldn't. Don't read too much into that.
Don't read too much into it. The times are not exactly, the clips are not exactly timed into it. They've been doing these things for years. So, in order for it not to be timed up right, you wouldn't have seen the people in the background with the little soft claps. And these two guys, which are the GM and uh, the other executive, sitting there looking so stoic and almost to like, damn, somebody made us get him. We didn't really want him, which he just told you. We didn't really want. We didn't even expect him to be there. But what you do when somebody's there, you don't no longer go for need. You go for the best thing that's available because he's on sale. $30 to $50 million on sale. You saved a bunch of money. So is it talent or something else? Make it make sense. Now, we talk about collusion. Is it collusion or something else? They said, oh, they wouldn't do that. People are trying to win football games. Bottom line is, they wouldn't do a collusion. There wouldn't be no collusion going on. You know, for what purpose? It was, why would they do that? I've seen them do it before. I'll give you two examples. One with Colin Kaepernick. Due that now, I ain't saying this is about race because that's not what I believe. But when they don't want you and they tell everybody else to leave hands off, don't touch you, they will not touch you. Even if they can get you for a Chico stick and a piece of string cheese. Colin Kaepernick, the reason why he probably in the league is due to his own fault. You know, scheduling meetings and not showing up or changing the location at the last minute. He just didn't look serious, and so they're not going to fall for it no more. But Michael Sams, on the other hand, which was the first openly gay guy who played in the SEC, which they consider the best or the most competitive league in NCAA, which has Alabama, Georgia, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Auburn, LSU, Texas A&M. These teams, he was the defensive player of the year and didn't get drafted until the 7th round because he was openly gay about it. Had his little white boyfriend sitting on his lap. They ain't like that. They drafted him, but when did they draft him? In the last round. And then when he did play, he did fairly good when he played. Had a sack, some tackles, but then they put him on the practice squad. Somebody else picked him up because they said, "Look, let's not make it look like we discriminating." Somebody else picked him up. Another team did pick him up. My team, matter of fact, and then he never got a shot after that, and they just kind of just dismissed him and never gave him another opportunity to make the squad because he was, I believe, openly gay. So don't tell me what they won't do. I've seen them do it collectively. Once again, was that about talent or was it about something else? Make it make sense. When they lifted the ban up off Shedeur, I believe this is what I believe. I believe they lifted the ban off him in the 5th round because of all the rhetoric and all the commotion, and the draft was just becoming just ridiculous. But you had even uh, the announcers that's on the screen that they had people texting them. One guy, his own dad called him, texting him, was like, "What the hell going on with that Sanders kid? Why is he not off the board?" I mean, it was getting ridiculous. We all want to know. This guy was the Big 12 Player of the Year. He broke over 100 records at CU. He had won the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, which is given to the most prestigious quarterback in college football. He is the all-time leader in completion in history, not for 2024, but in history. And you telling me he's not worthy of a 1st-round pick, 2nd-round pick, 3rd-round pick, 4th? He got to go to the 5th and lose essentially $30 to $50 million? That's wrong. Now Dion hadn't did anything for his son that others hadn't did for theirs. During the Super Bowl, during media, they had the media roll. Someone asked Dion, would you allow, would you kind of direct who could draft your son or whatever? And he kind of said, yeah, I would have to step in if it was a team that wasn't serious about winning. And I know wasn't, I don't, I would have to step in for him and Travis. That's what he was talking about. And step in and, like, no, we can't roll with you. We'll go to the next, But he hadn't did anything different than the Elways or the Mannings. Elway did it when he got drafted, told, I believe it was the Baltimore Colts or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that he was not going to sign with them if they drafted him, and they didn't. And so he ultimately went to Denver and had a successful career. Arch Manning did the same thing with Eli, told San Diego Chargers, do not draft my son. Essentially, I'm paraphrasing, he didn't believe if they were serious about winning because they hadn't did anything. And that's why he ended up with the New York Football Giants, and he had a successful career. So he hadn't did anything or said anything different that was already done by two previous football families. So was it about talent or was it about something else? Make it make sense. So I don't want to hear all this stuff about this guy interviewed lousy or seemed conceited or cocky when he came into meetings, because that is not that kid's character. This is the same kid who hasn't taken a dime of NIL or collective money from the CU, which in this era is strictly pay for play. Everybody's trying to get a bag. But because he has endorsements outside of it, he hasn't touched, him or Travis touched a penny of the money that's due to him. He told him put it back into the kitty to help some other players that's on the team. Give it to them. They need it. Does that sound like somebody that will go into a meeting that's arrogant, as cocky, selfish, selfless, thinking about himself? Selfish, thinking about himself? I don't think so. It's not his character. So is it about talent or is it about something else? I believe it's about something else.